What if I told you that you could spend 20 years doing everything right, working hard, paying your mortgage on time every single month, sacrificing vacations, skipping luxuries, and still lose your home? Would you believe me? Because that's exactly what happened to one couple. And the uncomfortable truth is this isn't some rare one-in-a-million story. It's a situation that's quietly happening to more people than you think. And the real question you should be asking yourself right now is not, how did this happen to them? But could this happen to me? Because once you understand how the system actually works behind the scenes, you'll realize that the answer is a lot closer to yes than most people are comfortable admitting. Meet David and Lisa. On paper, they did everything society told them to do. 2 stable incomes, no reckless spending, no missed payments. For 20 years straight, they paid their mortgage like clockwork, every single month without fail. While their friends upgraded cars and took expensive vacations, David and Lisa stayed disciplined. They believed in the promise we've all heard. Buy a home, pay it off, and one day it's yours. Security, stability, the American dream. And for a long time, it felt like that promise was working. Their home wasn't just a place to live, it was a symbol of everything they had sacrificed to build. But here's where the story takes a turn most people never see coming. Because the danger wasn't in what they were doing wrong. It was in what they didn't fully understand. Somewhere buried deep in the fine print of their mortgage agreement was a detail that didn't seem important at the time. A small clause. Easy to ignore. Something called an adjustable rate. For years, it didn't matter. Their payments were predictable, manageable, almost comfortable. But then, after a certain period, something changed. The rate reset. And suddenly, the numbers they had built their entire financial life around shifted. At first, it wasn't catastrophic. Just a few $100s more each month. Annoying but manageable. They adjusted. Cut back a little more. Delayed a few plans. Told themselves it was temporary. But then life happened. And this is the part where the story stops being about them and starts feeling a little too close to home. Because life doesn't wait for the perfect financial moment. A medical emergency. A job disruption. An unexpected expense that doesn't care how responsible you've been for the last 2 decades. For David and Lisa, it was a combination of both. And suddenly, that manageable increase in their mortgage payment became something much heavier. So they did what many people do in that situation. They leaned on what they thought was their safety net. Their home equity. After all, they had been paying into their house for 20 years. They had built value. So they opened a line of credit against it. A HELOC. It felt logical, responsible even. Use the equity you've built to get through a rough patch. That's what it's there for, right? But here's the part nobody explains clearly enough. That equity isn't free money. It's still debt. And it often comes with variable terms that can change, just like their original mortgage did. Now, instead of 1 payment, they had 2. And both were tied to interest rates that were no longer in their favor. The system had quietly shifted around them. Rates climbed. Payments increased again. And what used to feel like a stable foundation started to feel like quicksand. Every payment they made was keeping them afloat, but not moving them forward. And this is where the emotional weight really sets in. Imagine paying for something for 20 years, believing you're getting closer to owning it, only to feel like you're slipping backwards. At this point, most people assume there must have been a breaking point, a missed payment, a major mistake. But that's what makes this story so unsettling. There wasn't a single dramatic failure. It was a slow squeeze, month after month of tighter margins, less room to breathe, until one day they couldn't keep up anymore. And when that happens, the system doesn't pause to consider your history. It doesn't weigh your 20 years of perfect payments against your current situation. It looks at one thing. Can you pay right now? This is where foreclosure enters the picture. And for most people, foreclosure feels like something that only happens to those who are irresponsible. But that assumption is exactly what makes stories like this so dangerous. Because it blinds people to the risks that exist, even when you're doing everything right. The bank doesn't see your sacrifices. It sees a contract. And if the terms of that contract aren't met, the process moves forward. Slowly at first. Notices. Warnings. Opportunities to catch up. But each step gets harder to recover from. Fees stack up. Pressure builds. options shrink. And here's the part that hits the hardest. After 20 years of payments, David and Lisa had already paid a massive portion of their loan. Tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. But foreclosure doesn't work like a refund system. You don't get credit for the years you've already paid in a way that protects you from losing the asset. If you can't meet the current terms, you risk losing everything, including the equity you thought you had secured. And that's the moment when the reality truly sinks in. All those years. All those payments. And suddenly, the house they believed was theirs isn't. Now, before we go further, I want you to pause and think about your own situation. Not from a place of fear, but from a place of awareness. Because the goal of this story isn't to scare you. It's to show you how these situations actually unfold. Not through reckless decisions, but through a series of small, seemingly reasonable steps that compound over time. And if you're like most people, there's a good chance at least one piece of this story feels familiar. Maybe it's the adjustable rate. Maybe it's relying on home equity. Maybe it's the assumption that consistency alone guarantees security. Because here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. A mortgage is not just a path to ownership. It's a financial structure with rules that can change around you. And if you don't fully understand those rules, you can spend years playing the game without realizing the risks built into it. And what happened to David and Lisa is not just about one couple. It's about a system that rewards consistency, but doesn't always protect it. So how does something like this actually happen step by step? What are the specific traps that turn a stable situation into a financial collapse? And more importantly, what can you do right now to make sure you never find yourself in this position? Because in the next part of this video, we're going to break down the exact mechanisms behind this story. The adjustable rate resets, the hidden dangers of HELOCs, the timing risks that most people ignore, and then we're going to build a practical checklist you can use to protect yourself starting today. So now that you've seen how a situation like this can unfold, let's pull back the curtain and look at the exact mechanisms that turn a safe mortgage into a financial trap. Because once you understand these, you stop seeing this story as shocking and start seeing it as predictable. And the first trap, the one that quietly sets everything in motion, is the adjustable rate mortgage, or RAIA. On the surface, it feels like a smart move. Lower initial payments, easier approval, more breathing room in the early years. And for a while, it works exactly as expected. But what most people underestimate is what happens when that fixed period ends. Because at that moment, your mortgage stops being predictable. It becomes tied to the market. Interest rates rise. Your payment rises. And not gradually in a way that feels comfortable, but often in jumps that can completely reshape your monthly budget overnight. And here's the part that catches people off guard. When you first take out the loan, you qualify based on the initial rate, not the future one. So you build your entire financial life around a number that was never meant to last. By the time the reset happens, you're not just dealing with a higher payment. You're dealing with a life that has already expanded around the old one. Maybe you've had kids. Maybe your expenses have grown. Maybe your income hasn't kept up the way you expected. So what used to be manageable becomes stressful, and then becomes unsustainable. Now layer on the second trap, the illusion of home equity as a safety net. Because this is where things get even more deceptive. You look at your home and think, I've built value here. I've earned flexibility. And technically that's true. But the way most people access that value through a HELOC or a cash-out refinance turns that asset back into debt. And not just any debt, but often variable rate debt that moves with the same market forces that just increased your mortgage payment. So now, instead of reducing risk, you've doubled your exposure to it. And psychologically, this feels safe. Because you're not swiping a credit card. You're using your equity. It sounds responsible. But financially, it's the same principle. You're borrowing against the future. And if that future becomes unstable, even temporarily, the structure starts to crack. Payments increase. Balances grow. And suddenly, the safety net becomes another weight pulling you down. The third trap is timing. And this one is the most brutal. Because it has nothing to do with how disciplined you are. It's about when life hits. Because financial systems are designed with the assumption that your income remains stable. But real life doesn't follow that script. A job loss, even for a few months, can create a gap that's hard to recover from. A medical bill can wipe out savings you spent years building. And when these events collide with rising payments, the margin disappears. And once your margin is gone, every decision becomes reactive instead of strategic. This is where many people make their final mistake, not out of ignorance, but out of desperation. They start juggling, skipping one bill to pay another, using short-term solutions to fix long-term problems. And each move feels justified in the moment. But collectively, they accelerate the decline. Because the system isn't designed to give you time, it's designed to enforce the terms. And that brings us to the fourth trap, which almost nobody talks about clearly. How foreclosure actually works. Because there's a common belief that as long as you've paid most of your mortgage, you're protected. But that's not how the structure is built. Your past payments don't shield you from current default. If you fall behind, the process begins. And while there are stages, delinquency notices, grace periods, potential modifications, each step becomes harder to reverse. Fees get added, penalties stack, and your ability to catch up shrinks as the total amount owed grows. And here's the harsh reality. Even if you've paid off 70% or 80% of your home, you can still lose it if you can't meet the remaining obligation. The bank's priority is not your history, it's the contract. And if the contract isn't fulfilled, the asset can be taken back and resold, which means all the equity you thought you had built can evaporate in the process, especially after fees, legal costs, and forced sale conditions are applied. Now at this point, you might be thinking, so what am I supposed to do? Avoid homeownership altogether? And the answer is no. The goal here isn't to avoid the system. It's to understand it well enough to navigate it safely. Because once you see these traps clearly, you can start making decisions that protect you instead of exposing you. So let's shift from awareness to action. Because this is where you take back control. The first thing you need to look at is your mortgage structure. If you have an adjustable rate mortgage, you need to know exactly when it resets, how it resets, and what your payment could realistically become under different interest rate scenarios. Not the best case scenario, the realistic one. Run the numbers. Stress test your budget. Because the time to prepare for a higher payment is before it happens, not after. Second, rethink how you view home equity. Instead of seeing it as money you can use, start seeing it as a buffer you should protect. Just because you can borrow against, it doesn't mean you should. And if you already have a HELOC, understand the terms. Is it variable? When can it change? What happens if rates rise further? Awareness here can be the difference between control and crisis. Third, build margin into your life intentionally. And this is where most people push back, because it requires short-term sacrifice. But margin is what absorbs shocks. It's what keeps a temporary problem from becoming a permanent one. That means having an emergency fund that covers more than just a few weeks. It means not stretching your budget to the absolute limit just because a bank says you qualify. Qualification is not the same as affordability. Fourth, diversify your stability. And this goes beyond just your mortgage. If your entire financial life depends on a single income stream, you're more vulnerable than you think. Because as we've seen, it's not just about how much you earn, it's about how resilient that income is when something unexpected happens. And finally, understand your options before you need them. Because once you're in a crisis, your choices shrink. But before that point, there are often ways to restructure, refinance, or adjust your situation. The key is acting early, not waiting until the pressure becomes overwhelming. Now here's the bigger picture I want you to walk away with. What happened to David and Lisa wasn't just bad luck. It was a combination of structure, timing, and assumptions that most people share. And that's why this matters. Because the difference between losing everything and protecting what you've built often comes down to what you understand before things go wrong. So if this story made you pause, if it made you look at your own situation a little differently, that's a good thing. Because awareness is where control begins. And if you want more breakdowns like this, where we go beyond the surface and show you how money, debt, and financial systems really work, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Because this isn't about fear. It's about clarity. It's about making decisions with your eyes open. And before you go, I want you to do one simple thing. Take 5 minutes after this video and look at your own financial structure. Not emotionally, objectively. Where are your risks? Where are your assumptions? Because the earlier you see them, the easier they are to fix. And if this video changed how you think about your mortgage even a little, drop a comment below and say, I see the system now. Because the people who understand the system are the ones who avoid its traps. I'll see you in the next video.